Let's bring up to the stage my 4 guests. I have a virtual guest and 3 physical guests. Let's go virtual last, because I think he's ready, but we'll just do this anyway. First up, Sanjay Khare, Vice President of Safety and Sustainability Strategy, Skoda Auto. Sanjay, if you'd like to sit next to me.
Hi, I'm here.
He's the virtual one. Yeah. That's live for you. Things happen. Sanjay, there you are. Hi, Sanjay. Good to see you. Sanjay's virtual. He's there. Jagjit, let's get you sitting next to me. Jagjit Shireen, Principal Dalberg Advisors. Great to see you, Jagjit. Pulkit Srivastava, co-founder of EVage. And finally, last but not least, Hitesh Sharma, Country Manager, Printing Supplies and Services, HP. Gentlemen, thank you all for joining us. Let's get you involved, Sanjay, Mr. Virtual. How are you doing? Sanjay, how do we transform the old infrastructure? You know, what needs to be done in the 3 key sectors, their energy, their manufacturing, and their transportation?
So the clear answers start that we have to understand the urgency first. Urgency first has to be understood by everybody from top to bottom, from left to right. That is where the action starts. First action has to start with the word taking a commitment and understanding the urgency, number 1. Number 2, all across the sectors, we have to understand where the wastages are happening, whether it's energy or it's resources. We have to start cutting down, minimizing them, and see where the wastages are. And number 3, wherever possible, we move over from the traditional ways to newer ways, renewable ways, the better ways, and last but not the least, innovate for the future so that we can quickly move towards the bigger transitions what are required to be in line with the Paris Climate Agreement. What I'll say is that business as usual versus an accelerated mode of achieving net zero. So I'll say these are the 4 factors which are applicable for each and every sector of the industry. Do you want me to elaborate more?
Keep going, Sanjay.
Yeah, I'm unable to listen to you right now. Somehow there is some issue, I believe.
Okay. Sanjay, we'll come back to you in just a second. We can hear you. You are breaking up, but not a problem. Jagjit, great to see you. You, of course, are principal of this wonderful strategic advisory firm. You work across private, public, philanthropic sectors to fuel inclusive growth. Inclusive growth is your big thing, and you're helping clients achieve their goals. How are you working with the public, with the private, with the philanthropic sectors to achieve that inclusive growth?
Thanks for that question. I hope it's working.
Oh, are we having a mic problem? Just try again. Jagjit? Yeah. Is your mic on? Where is it? Oh, there's your mic. Let's click that on. Here you go. There you go. I've done enough of this when I was in TV.
Thank you.
Hey, is that good?
Yeah,
can we hear him? Yeah, is that good?
Good.
Yeah. Sorry, answer that question. All yours.
Yeah, thanks. So we have kind of broken down this climate problem in 4 buckets.
Yeah.
First is transition of financial sector in a climate smart way. Second is getting a handle on the physical impacts of climate across different sectors of economy and what are the solutions. And third is the energy transition, where you have to green all sectors of economy and clean the electricity, which would electrify all these sectors of economy, and plus there is hydrogen. The 4th bucket is just strategy. How do you internalize climate risk and opportunities at the board level? Then you translate that into the action plan, then funding decisions across the institutions. So what we are trying to do is work with players you mentioned, public sector, right from policymakers to executives at the federal and state level in India and other countries. Similarly with corporates and philanthropies. But it must be recognized that climate philanthropic funding in India is minuscule. We need to grow this and make it much more catalytic. Same goes for state capacity. I think the Capacity Building Commission of India could play a great role in bringing all the civil servants of India up to speed on climate
We're speaking
science.
to Hemang Jani in about 20 minutes.
Yes.
So where is he? He'll be here in a minute, and we can put that question to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The point is that you need to break this climate problem into opportunity.
Yeah.
Bring a climate competitiveness frame to Indian growth story, and bring all these players to work together rather than in silos and build the state capacity. And we are working across these spectrums with our clients.
Thank you. That was absolutely fantastic. Pulkit, tell me about is it EVage? Is that how you say it? Yeah, of course it is. And you're doing amazing things. Not a lot of the focus is going into commercial vehicles because it's easier to understand the vehicles that we drive as, citizens every day. But that's your focus, and you're doing some incredible things. How can electrification then of existing and future trucks contribute to positive climate change?
First, thank you for having me here. 36% of pollution in a city is from automotive. 2% of vehicle contribute to 50% of that pollution. And sadly to say, what you drive as a person going to office, you hardly contribute to climate change. Yeah. You do, but it doesn't impact that much. What matters is electrifying anything which moves 18 to 20 hours in a day, which are freight vehicles. 70% of pollution is in greenhouse combustion is from diesel vehicles, and we need to reduce that significantly. What we are trying to do is making cities cleaner and starting with India. That's what we are doing. So I don't know why there's been a policy overlook altogether in terms of even the FAME subsidy which exists. There is no carved out scenario for just electric trucks. We've been in existence for the last 9 years. It's a very difficult thing to do to manufacture trucks. I hope forums like this allow policymakers to realize that if you want to make cities cleaner, you cannot ignore trucks.
That's your message, is it? To say it. The policymakers are here. They're listening. Yes. They're going to watch these videos. What's your message to them?
Fast charging. Solve fast charging.
Yeah.
Make sure that the subsidies which you're creating, you carve out specifically that electric trucks need subsidies for that. Third, circular manufacturing. Let's not ignore it. We keep talking about it, but it's not how you manufacture. It's not only what you manufacture, it's how you manufacture. We can manufacture EVs at 1/10 of the cost base and manpower. Still, state governments do not recognize what we are doing because we need lesser space. But we can produce same number of vehicles in lesser space and be more profitable. It's first time it's happening in India, where somebody has inverted the pyramid and can manufacture vehicles in 1/10 of the cost base and manpower. Start recognizing it.
There you go. That's your message, policymakers. Hitesh, given that this panel discussion studio chat is called "What are the climate tech solutions that can enable this transformation?" How is HP using technology towards climate action?
Okay, thanks, Mark, for that question. But I'll take a liberty here to move away from technology alone and bringing in the tech twin, which is technique, which brings a lot of, or makes a lot of difference on how technology can make a difference or impact. So borrowing Professor Manoj's trio of skill, scale, and speed, technology can solve or is a function of skill alone. But technique is something which can actually ensure scale and scale at speed. And I know that you love examples. Let me give you an example how HP does it.
Yeah.
So if our technologies can ensure collaboration with nature-based solutions like fiber-based packaging innovations, we match our technology of let's say 3D printed molding solutions as a tooling tool for them to be able to customize it to different industries and industry utilizations. That ensures both scale and scale at speed. That's one example. Another important technique is how do you ensure it has a systemic thinking approach to it. You don't just limit your understanding on your products and solutions and offerings, but how does collaboration across different systems of societal elements can bring in larger impact. An example again, on our circularity endeavors, what we're doing is we're using ocean-bound plastic as a content to build products, laptops, computers, printers. In fact, HP was the first to build a personal computer using ocean-bound plastic. Now, to do so, there is a huge investment, societal investment, to upskill and formalize the so-called informal sectors of waste pickers, to really get them together as a collective and bring them as a supplier in our value chain. So it has a systemic I would say, dimension to it, not just limiting to the secularity of our products, but also how do we upskill the society as a partner to it.
Hitesh, stay there. Gentlemen, you've got about 40 seconds each because we're running out of time. Let's get our virtual man. Sanjay, in 40 seconds, tell us about this wonderful Go to Zero mission. I saw you in LinkedIn, you had your bicycle and you were ready and you were roaring, ready to go. Tell us about the Go to mission, why it's so important. Are Indian corporates signing up to it?
Okay, so Go to Zero is all about becoming totally resource neutral, climate neutral by 2050, all across the entire value chain, right from resource to use phase of the car and to the end of the life recycling. All the across, we have observed some 17% to 18% emissions come from the incoming value chain, 2% is in-house manufacturing, 70% plus is the use phase, and last 5% is in the recycling phase. So we have to work across all the four sectors. Switching over to newer electric vehicles, say that will certainly save upon the 70%, but that's a long-term, long-drawn strategy. In India, we are still not yet ready with the detailed battery manufacturing, battery-based setup to take care of the entire automotive processes. The right thing is right now to focus upon the low-hanging fruits. What we can do in the in-house manufacturing, what we can do with our value chains. In-house manufacturing, we have become more than 30% energy self-sufficient using solar power, more than 18.5 megawatts we installed on our rooftops. And this energy is 60% cheaper also. What I say, good thing for the earth is also good for the economics also. We have become zero waste by totally recycling 100% of whatever waste were, including the paint shop waste. We have been able to 100% recycle our water. And not just that, we are conserving 20% more water in the communities outside. So this is all we have tried to set up an island over here of excellence in sustainability in manufacturing, where we are not putting any burden on the resources around us on the earth. And that's this magic we are trying to work along with our value chain of our suppliers and dealers. So that is what is the thing we are working upon right now.
Well said, Jagjit, really, really quickly. I know you're doing a lot of stuff in India, particularly a few years ago, the initiative, the India Climate Collaborative. What else are you doing in India? Give us some examples.
So one of the initiatives we are driving along with stakeholders is climate smart transition of financial sector overall. So there are two big pieces. One is the risk side, the physical and the transition risk. What kind of taxonomy you use, whether it's green or shades of green, black, brown, in between. How you measure it, assess it, and how you disclose. That's the risk part. And then the opportunity part. We are bringing this new frame of climate competitiveness. It should be a race to the top rather than race to bottom. How we bring all the supply chain players to play on this opportunity side, how we grow the climate tech. That's all we are bringing, working with regulators like SEBI and RBI down to private sector and public sector banks. So individual investor like you and I, if I want to have a climate smart portfolio, what metrics I should use. So we are, just to summarize, working across the spectrum to change the discussion from just climate finance, the 100 billion, to trillions of dollars of financial sector in a climate smart transition way. Thank you.
30 seconds each. Pulkit, tell us about the manufacturing and platform that you have, the in 30 seconds, good luck, your micro modular manufacturing and the EVage platform, because they're doing things a different way, aren't you?
What we have done is, as I mentioned earlier, inverted the pyramid of how you manufacture. We have one platform on which we can produce anywhere between 1 ton payload to 2 ton, 3 ton, 5 ton, 10 ton, 20 ton. Yeah. What that allows us, it's like a Lego piece meets with a rubber band. Instead of creating a factory with one structure and one platform on which one vehicle could be put, we have created a rubber band kind of a platform on which different vehicles can be done. It does two things. One, it allows us in a lesser space produce more number of vehicles. Part one. Part two, we need lesser capex to then from the same factory more vehicles coming out and eventually a customer paying less and a better total cost of ownership in 30 seconds.
Well said, well said. Hitesh, very quickly, this is it. Big moment for you. The mindset change. What sort of shift do we need to scale the impact towards sustainable development?
Thank you so much for that question.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that. I think mindset, in addition to systemic thinking, circularity, what's also important is the balanced narrative of not just sustainable production, but also responsible consumption on the other side. Sustainable production alone cannot solve the issues until unless it's matched and incentivize through a responsible consumption, a market on the other side. Here, with the policymakers around, I think a great start could be bringing in sustainable procurement policies.
Yeah.
That would be a great start to be able to not just incentivize greater good, greener deeds, but also ensure that we are able to scale and scale at speed.
A massive round of applause for our wonderful IGF Studio Climate Panel. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and our virtual guest.